Alright, hey guys. This is Annie, or Zero here, and yeah, I'm about to try my hand at tanning these two deer I've got. I'm gonna try to turn them from rawhide into a tanned soft thing. I opened up the other one and I had forgotten how gnarly it looks. So basically when he gave it to me, it was kind of skinned out, but it still had a lot of flesh on it, so I had to scrape off the flesh. And you can see these things are pretty big, so I wasn't able to properly salt this one. So these little bits right here, that's just where the salt landed, and when I sprinkled it on lightly, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm a little worried about these areas that didn't get any salt, but after I softened the rawhide in some water, the instructions say to salt it again, so hopefully the hair won't slip out. This I guess it was a doe, has some pretty nice thick hair, so I don't want any of that to fall out, but you know, if it does, then oh well. The Bambi is nice and white, so I'm hoping this nice pattern stays in. Don't know about that hole. I don't think I'm gonna patch it up. It's just where the bullet went through, I guess. But yeah, here we go. So this is just me trying to soak this in the tub. Got a little bit of cold water in there. Easier way to do this would probably be to just take it down to a lake or a creek or something and leave it for an hour, but I didn't feel like sitting outside for an hour getting bit by bugs. I might put some more water in. I don't think this is enough to submerge it, but I don't want to let it soak too long or the hair will fall out. Just enough so that it turns back into soft. Just wanted to show you. This is the formula I'm going to be using. Before this, I used the homebrew sort of salt and alum mixture, and then you just sort of soak your skin. But this time, since it's a huge deer, I figured if I'm gonna have to spend money on a bunch of alum anyways, I might as well just get the actual formula. So this is the one in all of the YouTube videos, and I'm guessing it's gonna work because it's specifically made to do that. So hopefully turns out. I got one for each deer because it says one bottle is good for a small deer. Here are the hides that I've done before with the alum. This is a squirrel, and you can see it's really soft, really supple, and the hair sticks on pretty well. Alright, look at that. It's been about an hour and it feels nice and soft. But see, now it looks like cloth. Before it was like hard paper. Ah, it's so heavy. Oh gosh. The pelt is heavy enough on its own, but when it's completely saturated in water, it really puts on some weight. I'm hoping these two skins, when folded up, will fit into that 5-gallon bucket. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go and buy another bucket. Update here. I put up this shower bar curtain thingy so that I can drip dry the skins. Okay, so since the instructions didn't really say to dry them before salting, I didn't want to make them completely bone dry, just you know, because I don't think that was the intent. So the baby's a little moist still, and I laid it down. I'm going to just toss some salt, non-iodized salt on and rub it all in. It says to be generous with it, and I need two coatings. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. Whew. All right, there they are. I poured salt all over them, and I gave them a good rub in, and then I folded them over and rolled them up, and we're supposed to leave them here for 24 hours. So tomorrow, around this time, I'm going to scrape the salt off and resalt them and roll them back up and leave them another 24 hours, which, I don't know, I feel like they're gonna dry out too much after that, but that's what the instructions say. This 1 pound of table salt only covered about that and a little bit of that. So I had gone to the store and found this 10-pound bag of sea salt, because the store didn't have any more of that. That stuff is super cheap. This was pretty pricey, and I don't know if it's gonna work, because even though it says fine, the sea salt is much coarser than the table salt that I use. I could feel it when I was rubbing it in, and it kind of sticks together too, a little wet. So hopefully it works, but we'll see tomorrow. Alright guys, it's day 3. Yesterday I went and scraped down the hides of the salt and then resalted them and left them for another 24 hours, and they're still quite damp and supple, so I guess my worries on whether or not they would dry out were for naught. I went out and bought I think it's either a 10 or an 18-gallon container from the Walmarts, because I just figured that one little thing won't be enough for 2 hides. My original plan when I bought that was to do them one at a time, but I figured I'd just go ahead and do them all 2 at the same time. So I went and filled this up with water, and I've been mixing some salt in it. The instructions say half a pound of salt for every 1 gallon of water. So I guesstimated about 6 gallons of water, I think, and I put 3 pounds of salt in there. I still got some salt left if I need more water, but hopefully that should be enough to submerge the hides. I just want to make sure that all the flesh side is able to touch some water. If it folds up on itself, or if some part of it is left outside, then the hair might slip. Hair's still stuck on pretty well. If some little bits come off, that's just the deer shedding. You know, just like everyone sheds. As long as it doesn't come out in clumps, it should be good. And yeah, so I'm going to wait for the water is hot right now. Well, like relatively hot. It's not like boiling. But I'm gonna wait for it to cool down, and then I'm gonna soak the hides for 6 to 8 hours, and then pull them out and let them dry up. Hey guys, so last night I dunked the hides into the bucket of salt water. This morning I took them out, I rinsed them, and took a sharp knife and tried to thin the hide out. It looks a bit rough because I don't know if my knife wasn't sharp enough or if it was too sharp or what, but I poked quite a few holes by accident, just trying to, you know, like here's a hole right here, just trying to get it thin. It still feels a bit thick in some areas, and I don't know if that's like, you know, if it could get any thinner, but I'm just gonna leave it like that because I don't want to ruin the hide anymore. Washed it in the soap to try and get some of the grease out. It's still pretty greasy to the touch, but I don't know what to do about that. They're still kind of moist to the touch. So I think that's where it's supposed to be. Anyways, as per the instructions, I'm going to warm these up in some hot water and start rubbing them in. Alright, so I got the skin down on the floor. I did my best to try and remove most of the hair that was stuck to it from when I was washing. Got this warmed up. Put it 30 minutes in a hot tap water, and it says to shake it well. And I guess I just pour it in and rub it. Don't want to get too much on the floor, hopefully. It says 1 bottle of this is enough for 1 deer hide. So eventually I'm going to be using the whole bottle, but just so I can make sure I get every inch of this covered to begin with, I'm just going to start with a little at a time. Alright. So I have about half a bottle left, actually. I used 1 whole bottle for the adult and half the bottle for the baby, so I'm not sure if that's alright, but it was getting pretty saturated and I didn't want to pour any more on. But yeah, I'm gonna leave those there overnight. They said 16 hours about. And okay, so these guys have been drying. You can see this area here is still wet, but the parts that have dried mostly, I've been pulling on them. They call it breaking the hide. And you're basically breaking all the fibers so that it turns white and remains soft. If you don't do that, then when it dries up, it'll turn hard again. So yeah, like this soft, kind of papery sort of, that's what I'm going for. I'm gonna let it dry a few more hours and do it again. This one on the other side, it's dried a lot, but this side was against the wall, so I moved it to this side of the room. This one is really thick, so there are parts that are still like I could still squeeze it and liquid will come out, so that's gonna take a lot longer. And this one is way heavier than this guy, so my arms are, my weak little arms can hardly lift it, let alone pull. But yeah, I've been pulling a little bit on the edges of this one as well, so hopefully eventually I'll be able to get it all white like that. But yeah, we'll see. Hey guys, so I've been working these hides and I've discovered a new tool. It's a PVC pipe, and I found that if I use the pipe to scrape the skin, it pulls the skin better than my weak little hands can. So yeah, I've just been here with my hands and just like scraping at the skin. It works especially well with the edges. The edges are really hard to get. So I just wanted to show you that, but it's coming along really nicely. It's really soft. Yay! Hey guys, so the carpet's coming along pretty nicely. I've been stretching and scraping at it, and it's really nice and soft. Some of the edge parts are still a little wet, but as they dry out, I'll keep stretching it. Right now I am sacrificing one of my hairbrushes and just trying to get the loose hair out. I don't know if you can see it, but this thing is shedding like crazy, and it's not hair slippage because it's not coming out in patches, but look at that just massive tangle of hair. But I've been brushing away and back and forth and trying to get all the undercoat out. I went to the PetSmart to see if I could buy a hairbrush that's actually for animals, and they have an under hair shedding brush type thing, but it was like 20-30 bucks or something. So I wasn't gonna buy that for this dead animal. Anyways, I just wanted to show you all this hair that came out of this deer. You know, like every time I pull on it, hair just comes out. No matter what I do. Look at that bunch. Look at that. So some places are worse than others, but it's all under hair. Anyways, just wanted to show you what I was up to. And that's pretty much almost done. Hey guys, wanted to show you my final product. Here's the Bambi. There's the adult. There's the mama. The mama came out really nice. Look at that. It's like a rug that you would buy at the store. But it's still shedding a lot, and I'll probably continue to pull hair out, maybe take it outside and like give it a good shake, a good beat down. For some reason I thought it was a good idea to drape it over a table, like a tiny little table, and it dried in a strange way like a tablecloth. So there's like a little lump here where the corner of the table was. I'm hoping that smooths out over time. Because that would be an extremely dumb mistake to have made. But it's heavy enough that it lays pretty flat. The Bambi is so thin that it's pretty much curled up. But it's looking pretty good too. This guy isn't shedding at all, so I'm happy with that. Unfortunately, the smell is quite nasty on this little guy. The big guy smells like wet laundry that was left out for too long. You know, that kind of clothing smell that's like kind of gross and you really want to wash it. I don't know how to wash it out. I believe most people will make a smoke fire and smoke the skin to either give it make it waterproof and make it smell better, but I'm not a big fan of flesh, hide plus smoke smell. I tried to smoke one of my squirrels before and it smells gross as well. So the squirrels did start out smelling a little strange, and then over time, like after months, the smell went away. So I'm hoping that happens with this one, because the smell is pretty bad. Like I can't even keep it in my room. I might leave it outside at some point to see if I can air it out, but yeah, this thing stinks. I don't know how to describe the smell. It's like a wet dog's foot, maybe. It's not a rotting smell. That's at least I don't think so, and I don't see any parts that are rotting. So it should be okay. I'm not gonna be too distressed about that until like maybe half a year later. I'll come back and I'll take a whiff and see if the smell's still there. But yeah, pretty happy with the results. And that's a tanned hide, completely preserved. So I'm not a professional or of any kind, as you can tell from the whole video, this is my first time using the tanning fluid and first time doing a hide this big. I didn't even skin the thing, so this isn't an instructable of any kind. This is just me doing something new, a new project, and taking you along with me. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye!